As long as she's happy,
Yeah.
she has my blessing.
Okay.
Until she's not.
So as Wendy's speaking, absolute crap.
Drama was everything we had in episode 4 of Real Housewives of Durban. These women are actually making us have a wonderful show. And just stay back as I actually discuss all the wonderful things that happen on this episode of the Real Housewives of Welcome back to this YouTube channel and subscribe as I will always do justice to reviews and details of every episode of your favorite show. And I am Loba and this is the Gist with Loba. So today we'll be talking about the Real Housewives of Durban season 3 episode 4. And the episode 4 was quite an interesting one as we started with the Okay, so this episode started with Nonku's event, and Soisha was like, "I won't be part of this event because of Sane." You understand? And having known what she said about Annie, so she was like avoiding Sane, so she left. But before leaving, she met with Nonku and told Nonku reason why she won't be part of the show. And Soisha was leaving because of what Jojo told her. So because of this, Sorisha left, and I feel Nonku did not really feel good about it because she felt if Sorisha was being a good friend, she should have stayed regardless of who Sane is. So now then they had this dinner which all of them had to talk and have conversation. So Nonku brought up the issue of Sane on the table and they had to talk about how she had been drama on the show. So they Nonko actually kind of confronted her and was like, "Oh, Sane, Sorisha left because of you." And Sane was like, "How will she know why Sorisha left?" So she defended herself, and Muzlara's part was her quoting by herself. So for me, I feel Sane should have actually, being new to the group, she should have not really come so bold. I'm not saying she should actually be in her shells. You can be yourself, but it's not like you coming new to the group and you're attacking them and you're doing that. What she did to Lundy was so uncalled for, and what they were able to dig out about her past really made the likes of Sarisha want to really avoid her. But the thing is that Sane seems to be like someone who will be on the show for a while, so I don't know how well they can actually avoid her. Then aside that, so Nonko actually brought up the issue and you just have to hash it out. But the main issue was that Jojo should have actually should have actually cleared the air because it was what Jojo told Sorisha that made Sorisha was like, no, I can't stay about Annie. So Jojo should have just decided to just clear the air. This scene we had Annie having this conversation with her husband about her eyes and how well she. So all I could notice is that Annie was really affected by social media comments about what she looks like, and she's so pained. And this season she's really kind of voicing out, and I guess she's ready to change. So to an extent, the first two episodes and criticism that came with it is actually making her wanting to be a better person. The highlight of this episode is Nonku, Slee, and Mbali's meeting. So they went to Slee's house and they had this conversation. So they actually talked about to Nonku about this a new man. So Nonku was like she's ready to have a child, like she'd like to have a child with this new man. So they asked Nonku how well has she known this man, like for how long have they been dating, and it's just 2 months. And Slee dropped the bomb like, okay, was it because you got to a car, that's why you want to have a child with him and want to introduce him to your children? Yeah, so the thing was that Slee was like, she advised her that she should just take it slow, get to know this man better. And I think it's necessary Nonku do that, having had her own children and the rest. So she should just actually take it slow. But that was it. And Mbali also talked about her partner and that is an artist and she does not want to be poor. Like she doesn't like poverty. She just wants to live large. She wants to wear designers and the rest. So she's scared. She's skeptical about like getting married to him because of everything and the rest. Like he's an artist, so she does not really know, like the career is not something that is very stable for so long. So she don't know what things can turn up to be on the long run. So they actually had a wonderful conversation, regardless of the fact that Nonko and Slee will always have issues. I feel Nonko and Slee will have a good relationship, if not for Jojo being in the mix. Yeah. And I will not really say Jojo is the one causing the issue, but Nonko not understanding how she can manage these two women as her friends and not selling one person cheap to the other. Sane and Maria met, and during this meet, Maria was able to put it to Sane that you been the trouble for this group. Like you coming to this group, you just been in trouble, and the only thing you can do is to leave the group. And Sane was like in defense; she defended herself and the rest. And I actually like the fact that Maria was able to convey this message to Sane in a very calm way, which did not really get Sane angry. And I really like the fact that Maria is getting over this conversation of Sorisha don't like me, Sorisha don't like me, and she's trying her best to get to be part of the show and not just be like a new cast. You know, a lot of times it's always very hard for new cast to actually be actively involved on the show. But for Maria, she's actively involved without doing too much. After this, we had Slee and Jojo. So Slee and Jojo went for lunch and they actually talked about this thing and the rest. So I did not really see the need for Jojo coming to have that conversation with Slee since they're not agreeing with her and Slee's not ready to agree with you. So the meeting was just like it was, would I say it was a waste? Yeah, because you two are not ready to agree and probably kind of come to let go everything. You understand? So they were just there still arguing and being calm with it. So I don't really, it was like, it was not worth it. So it was not a successful one, let me just put it that way. So they just had that conversation and each of them was still standing on the ground that I never said this, I said this, and the rest. And Slee mate, and Slee had to narrate everything that really happened to Sorisha. So during this mate, Slee had to tell Sorisha how calling Sane Ikecha was an issue and how she was attacked by Jojo. And Maria, Sorisha was so surprised that Jojo reacts that way. So it was like just a, so Annie hosted the ladies and went for a ride. Yeah. So during this event, when Annie hosted the ladies, Nonku was not part of the cast of the show who graced that event. And I'm not seeing it as a surprise for the fact that Annie did not attend Nonku's event. Seeing her not attend the event is just like paying Annie back in her own coin, and it did not really come as a surprise. So I feel there is a lot for Nonko and Annie to actually ash out this season. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to talk about is Jojo and Annie. So Jojo and Annie had this conversation about what Sane said and said if you had actually watched my former episode, you understand what Sane said. If you did not, you can just always go back to it. So the issue now is this social media drama Annie and Jojo were now like kind of putting up because now like when the former episode actually happened, Annie posted on her Instagram that she never knew that Sane made this claim and Jojo is a friend and never told her. But this episode, we are seeing that Jojo actually even told Annie this thing. So why was she now putting such content, I mean such write up on social media as if Jojo was never there for her? About wanting to have a child for a lover. Yeah, so she talked about it and how risky it could be for her with what had happened to her in the past. So the episode ended with Nonko and Slee, Nonko and Jojo. So during the event which Nonko was not part of, so they actually talked about Nonko's lover. So all of them were like, wow, he's cool, is that and the rest. So during this conversation about Nonko lover, all of them were cool, but what's the name? Slee was kind of calm with it and she did not make any comments until Annie put it to her that, oh, you are reserved about this. I hope something's not wrong. And she was like, no, she's cool with it and she's okay that her friend is getting to have someone she's in relationship with. But the issue now was happy with her friend, with whosoever she's happy with, she's cool with it until whenever she's not happy. So what's the name? Jojo was not cool with this. Like, why will you be looking forward to a time when she will never be happy about it and the rest? So Jojo told Nanku and they called Slee to have a conversation about this with her. Like, why will she say the time will come when she'll never be happy? And it was also a very dramatic one because Slee was not like okay with them coming for her and asking her about this, and she denied ever saying that or probably not having the intention that things will not really work out with her and a new lover. So I just feel like Nonku and Jojo are just to an extent, Nonku was like the victim for like the former episode where she was victim of the likes of Annie, Jojo, and Londi London, where she was always attacked and she was always a conversation. So I feel having experienced this, I feel Nonku should not be one of the person that will do this to Slee on the show. And I actually like the fact that Slee is not being, she's not letting these women push her to wherever they want to push her to. She's standing her ground, and it's actually cool to see her do this. So it was a nice watch. Yeah, that's it.